You are a toy!
It's officially the Christmas season. When I think about Christmas, I think about presents. And when I think about presents, I think about toys. Today, we're going to take a look at the Toy Story toys and rank all of them. At least all of them that I could find. 93. We don't have any time to waste. Let's get to it. First up, we've got Woody. For me, Woody is an S-tier character. He's my favorite, always been my favorite. I like him more than Buzz. I don't know why. Probably because maybe it's an older brother kind of thing. He's bossy. I do like how they softened him up as the movies went along, because Woody in that first movie is pretty much a huge jerk. Buzz Lightyear, also an A-tier character. Like I just mentioned, I'm going to put him down below Woody. He gets a lot less character work to do as the series goes on. That first movie is a big Buzz movie, but, you know, he's still just a lot of fun as a character, and probably the more fun character to flesh out, which is why we get all of this, like, side content about him. Bo Peep would be really low on the list for me if we were just going off of the first two Toy Story movies. But Toy Story 4 coming in really does boost her up quite a bit. Helps her climb up that list. I'm not going to be quite getting her up into S tier, though I can definitely see why people might want to do that. For me, she's going to be riding comfortably in A tier. Annie Potts is great, and I always like to see her and stuff. Bo Peep's sheep, Billy, Goat, and Gruff are going to be D tier. They aren't doing anything for me. They're kind of boring, and they make Woody look bad, right? Like, what's up with that, all right? What? I guess maybe I should dock Woody for that, not Billy, Goat, and Gruff. Like, why doesn't he know their names? I hope this list isn't me slowly realizing how much Woody shouldn't be an S-tier character. These first 47 toys were all originally featured in the first Toy Story movie. And Mr. Potato Head has like a special place in that first movie where he really is like kind of the antagonist, at least like when it comes to in the house, kind of stoking that trouble between our main characters. He really, again, gets softened and becomes more likable as the series goes along. He is funny. Don Rickles is great. I'm going to put him in A tier. He's going to go above Bo Peep for me. Slinky Dog is going to go A tier also, above Mr. Potato Head. Jim Varney, playing him, you know, Ernest before he passed away, and then getting replaced by Shawn's dad from Boy Meets World. You know, this is good stuff, and I really do just like, yeah, he's supportive. He's a fun character, and one of those ones where you're like, if you're at Disneyland and you see Slinky walking around, it's a good time because you know there's somebody that's in the butt. Wallace Shawn as Rex is this might be a little surprising, gonna land up in the S tier. I think he's awesome. Rex is great. He's like super nervous all the time, completely the opposite of what you would think a Tyrannosaurus Rex should be. And you know, I love Wallace Shawn. Ever since I've seen him, you know, in Princess Bride, like growing up, and then just everything that I've caught him in since then. Just a super fun character, actor, and just a really familiar voice that's always nice to hear and nice to see and stuff. Growing up, John Ratzenberger's Hamm was maybe my brother's second favorite Toy Story character. I'm going to be putting him up in A tier as well. Don't worry, we'll be getting some lower ranked ones pretty soon. Yeah, he just got a lot of attitude, and I like that in a character like this. A great supporting character in the beginning to a strong tradition of John Ratzenberger being in like pretty much every Pixar movie that has come out since then. We got Sarge and the Bucket of Army Men. I think they're going to go... Gosh. I'll put them in C tier. I think having Arlie, Ermey is their voice is great casting, and but they don't really do a ton, right? They're in that like kind of opening scene with the baby monitor, but they aren't really doing a ton story wise after that. They don't get a lot of development or anything, but they were, again, just a real iconic thing when it comes to Toy Story. You still see them around at Disneyland and everything. So yeah, the C tier for them. RC doesn't talk, super cool looking. It was one of those that they had a toy at the Burger King, and we didn't ever get that one. We got the Buzz and we got the Woody, but we didn't ever get the RC. And maybe the biggest disappointment of my childhood? Probably not, but maybe. Trying not to spend too much time on any one of these individually. 93 is a lot of people to get through in a single video. Rocky Gibraltar, next. He's D tier. He's got a cool look, but he's a non-character. Etch a Sketch. I'm going to put Etch a Sketch C. He has a personality and everything. So I do like that. And, characters that can't talk but still have to communicate. And they do that in like a unique or a fun way. It's always, exciting to see. Lenny is fun. I don't really know or really remember if he does a ton after that first movie. I mean, he does like show up some, but like I distinctly remember him being a part of that final chase. He can go B tier. Him calling out that, Buzz and Woody are together on RC and everything. And so, yeah, B tier comfortably with that. Hard time calling the Magic 8 Ball a character. I'm going to put it in F tier. Plus, it's dogging on my main boy, Woody. Mike, again, like Toy Story is weird because it makes these people, makes these things all characters, right? Like this thing is alive. Mike's going to go D tier above Rocky Gibraltar, though. He's just a walking PA system. The shark is one that I love. Like, he doesn't have a huge part to play, but when he says, "Hey, look, I'm Sheriff Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy." I think it's funny. I think it's funny. Every time I think about it, I don't even have to be watching the movie, but, "Hey, look, I'm Sheriff Woody." It's always good. B tier. Mr. Spell is going to be, kind of falling into that Mr. Mike scenario. I'll move him a little bit higher because at least he talks. The robot is cool looking. It doesn't really do anything. Oh goodness, it's going to be C tier. The snake, similar to the robot, he can go C tier also. These little guys are called Troikas, I think is what they are. They're like the Russian nesting dolls. They don't do anything. F tier, but they can be above the Magic 8 Ball. I mean, they're kind of cute. But kind of cute can't get you high on this list. There's too much competition. The Hokey Puck is a great, joke, right? What are you looking at, you Hokey Puck from Mr. Potato Head? But I can't rate it very high as a toy, right? Because even as a Hokey Puck, it's kind of like a failure. It has arms and legs. You can't use that thing as a real Hokey Puck. D tier. A troll doll. Just like a normal troll doll. I guess people like those things. I think they're kind of creepy and weird. It is really weird that Trolls has become as popular as it is without looking like the original Troll dolls. I can go top of D tier. These next three are probably the most iconic duo in all of Toy Story. The rubber duck, the pink teddy bear, and Dolly, which you see it pretty much in just one scene where they wave at Woody to say that they can hear him. Super iconic. Obviously, these are the most important characters. Of course, I'm not serious about that. They're going to be D tier, right? I'm going to put... They got to be F tier, right? They got to be. Oh, gosh. They have to be. F. 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 I'm going to move the bear up to D because I think he looks cool. I like his big eyebrow. The Tikes are another toy that is real, and they look pretty cool. I'm going to put them in C tier also. Roly-Poly Clown is going to be F tier for me. Andy's just got a lot of toys. This is something that I guess even as real people, right? We realize that I've got toys, but there's only 5 of them that I really want to play with, and the rest of them are just filling up space and are the villagers in Andy's imagination. And that is all this guy is. Roly-Poly Clown. You're nothing special. You probably got given to Andy's mom when she was pregnant with Andy at some baby shower, and he's just never thrown you away. Same goes with Train. Something I almost want to put lower than the Magic 8 Ball as a toy, but I'm not going to quite do it. Toy trains can be fun. Andy finds a way to make it a good time. So See and Say is a baby toy, that it lands on a barnyard animal. You pull the lever and then it says what's going on with it. It says what's going on. It makes the sound. I'm a little frazzled. Why am I so frazzled? Let's calm down. See and Say. D tier. The Barrel Full of Monkeys is going to be the last of just the Andy's toys from the first movie. Like, we could have just made this a whole tier list and talked about it more. But no. When I decided to make a Toy Story tier list and I decided that we were going to do all the movies and then didn't realize that I had only looked at movie characters that had voices at first and then almost doubled my list, I could have backed down, but I didn't. And we're in this for all of it, all 93. And I'm sure I've missed a couple. I'm sure I didn't get everybody. Like in that nightclub, in the fourth one, I know I didn't grab everybody. So, whatever. But anyway, the Barrel Full of Monkeys. It's going to be top of D tier for me. Now we get to the Little Green Men, the aliens that are at Pizza Planet, the LGMs, as they're called on the Buzz Lightyear cartoon. These guys are cool. I don't like how they're kind of getting turned into the Pixar Minions, where they're making like different versions of them to advertise different shows and everything at this point. But maybe that has come and gone. We don't have to worry about it anymore. But LGMs are cool. They're going to go top of B tier. Combat Carl, the first time that we see him, is like a big G.I. Joe. He's got dynamite strapped to his back, and he gets blown up. We see him get murdered. But that's all we see him do. I'm going to go D tier. Middle of D tier. Now we're to those cool toys that Sid made, right? Which were meant, it's like, am I supposed to think they're cool? Or am I supposed to be like, oh no, it's so awful that this happened to them? Or am I supposed to be somewhere in the middle? It's a little confusing on what the movie wants me to think. Like, obviously they want me to think he shouldn't have done this to them. But at the same time, it's like, but look at how cool some of these guys are. So the first of the Sid toys is Babyface. It's like a spider looking thing with a baby's head on it. Babyface is cool, but there's not a lot of character there, right? It doesn't talk. None of these toys talk. I feel like if the story of Toy Story 1 happened in Toy Story 3, then like all of these characters would actually be characters that have developed backstories and actual voices and different, like real people voicing them. But okay, that being said, Babyface. Not better than the shark. B tier. Legs, top of C tier. Hand in the box, middle of C tier. Roller Bob, right below legs. Rockmobile or Rock Mobile, however, mobile, I don't know. This guy's got a muscular body as his lower half and like a bug as his top half. Pretty cool. Let me go B. The frog that's got wheels. What do they call him? The frog. Okay, cool. Better than Snake. The first Ducky that we have in the Toy Story franchise is gonna go again. I like these super muscular bodies as a part of these. These toys are all cool, right? Like the designs are great. It's just when you think about is it a good character, right? That ties into it some. As you can tell, my criteria is very fast and loose. So, let's put the duck. Why is this so important to me? Right there. Now I just want to pump the brakes here for a second and acknowledge the fact that this character is named Pump Boy, and I don't know why. And if you can let me know why this character is called Pump Boy, I will be eternally grateful to you. So I am hoping for there to be comments that let me know why this character, which has the body of a car and the arms and legs of a baby, is called Pump Boy. Pump Boy is going to be here, C tier. Next we have another doll, Janie, right? And this one is going to be down here, D tier. The pterodactyl that temporarily switched heads with her is a lot cooler than Janie is. We'll go right here. No, we go below Rocky. I like Rocky enough. Next we have a Headless Bear, which Buzz Lightyear has tea with, which is just named Headless Teddy Bear. It's always interesting to me which ones they decide to name and which ones they decide to just describe. It's going to be another D tier for me. Along with Marie Antoinette and her little sister, they're just headless dolls. Like they don't matter. They really, like, so much so that they got nothing. They you see them and then they walk away. Jingle Joe, he's kind of cool, right? He rolls around and jingles as there's a head on him, and then like some little arms. I'll put him. He can go C tier, sure, you can go C tier. Put you below Tikes though. This toy is called Pickup Truck. Why they choose to put this on Wikipedia and give it its own article, not Wikipedia, but on the Pixar wiki and give it its own article, I don't know. I don't know why people do these things. I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess just one day people decide they want to do that and then they make it happen. Pickup Truck is F tier. But he's kind of scary, at least in the moment there. So that's that one. And then we got another, just a doll. But this one is a charred rag doll, which means it was on fire. And that is the last one of the first Toy Story. So just to put you in the mindset of where I was writing up the list. I got to 47 characters for Toy Story, and I said, hey, we could stop here, right? But then I was like, no, let's keep going. My wife said, you should stop. It's not healthy. Don't do this. And I said, no, we're going to double up this number and keep moving into Toy Story 2. So that's where we're going next. Toy Story 2. First one I want to mention from Toy Story 2, Jessie, the yodeling cowgirl. I think that she is the first character in Toy Story that really is sad, right? The first Toy Story comes out and you're not like, oh, I'm going to cry watching Toy Story. It's just about like two guys who learn how to become buddies with each other. And then Toy Story 2 comes out of the gate being like, I know I was supposed to be a straight-to-video movie, but guess what? I'm going to have this super sad song, and we're going to be dealing with this like post-traumatic stress of like being abandoned and not wanting that to have that happen again to you. And that's going to be like our new main character. And the movie's just like, okay. And then like, I guess this is what Toy Story is from now on. And everybody loved it. And I love it. And I love Jessie, the yodeling cowgirl. I think she's great. She's easily the third best character in Disney. In Toy Story. Not in Disney. Calm down. That's not what I meant. Bullseye is complicated. I love Bullseye. He's like a dog, but he's a horse. But I don't know. He's got to be A tier for sure. I'm going to put Bullseye A. He's obviously Jessie's horse at this point, but A feels good. I feel good there. Now, Stinky Pete is our first bad toy, like really bad toy. I mentioned Mr. Potato Head kind of being like a bit of like an antagonist in that first one, but it's nothing compared to Stinky Pete. Kelsey Grammer brings the heat with this guy. He's just nasty and bad. And the first times you really see a character in this series get a comeuppance where you're like, yeah, they deserve that, which is kind of messed up, right? In a lot of Disney movies, the bad guy gets killed. And we're always like, oh, that's dark. But like in these movies, like these characters are like almost never die, it seems like. And they get sentenced to this eternal like damnation of being stuck with like this person who's going to just like destroy him as a toy and like break him. And like his biggest fear was like not becoming pristine so he can't go in a museum. And now he's going to be living with this girl, this little girl who is going to just like destroy him. Maybe he'll grow to love it. I don't know. But either way, Stinky Pete, great. And a nice little like twist, right? Because you think in the movie, it's Jessie. She doesn't want him to leave, but really it's Stinky Pete. He's going to be top of A tier for me. Not quite S tier. We got another Buzz Lightyear here. They don't know what to do with Buzz Lightyear, like right off the bat, it seems like. And so what do? Like, well, let's just have another Buzz Lightyear that's just like the first Buzz Lightyear. So we have Utility Belt Buzz Lightyear. And which they find in the toy store. He also thinks he's really a space ranger, just like the first Buzz Lightyear. He's nothing. It's like old hat, cold potatoes. I don't think that's a saying, but you know what I mean. But at least serves a purpose, and you get some good jokes out of him. He'd be a C tier for me. Evil Emperor Zurg, again, kind of same way. It's cool to see Zurg, right? You hear about him in the first movie, then he shows up. put him in C tier as well. He'll go above. No, you know what? I'm going to put Zurg because I really just... He's going to go all the way at the top of C tier. Yeah, that feels good. Tour Guide Barbie, another toy that they see at the toy store, voiced by Ariel, right, from The Little Mermaid, whose real name is not Ariel, but Jodie Benson. And, she's going to voice Barbie kind of going forward, even though the other Barbies we see in the series are not the same Barbie as this Barbie character-wise. She's funny, right? She gets the little joke like at the end where she's like smiling and complaining about how it makes her cheeks hurt. Let's put you... you can go B tier. I'm happy with that B tier. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, one-off joke. Like as a toy, they're fun, right? But I'm going to put them bottom of D tier. Mrs. Potato Head, it only feels right. She's got to be there with Mr. Potato Head. Plus, she's funny, right? It's George Costanza's mom. Then we got Wheezy, who is voiced by Robert Goulet when he is singing, and it just makes me think of Will Ferrell. Wheezy's I like Wheezy. He's got a good He's a good catalyst for kind of like emotionally what Woody's going on in the second one. He can go there, B tier. And then our last one from Toy Story 2, Amy's Barbie doll, is going to rank... Again, she's not in it very long. She doesn't have a character. She's got a good gag and reveal when she shows the side of her face. It says, she's an artist. I'll go C tier. She can go... Yeah, C tier. She works as a good reveal of the fate of Stinky Pete. Which now brings us to Toy Story 3. A lot of people's favorite. I revealed in my when I talked about my favorite Toy Story movies and just like a short that I did on here, that it's actually my lowest rated one, but I like all of the Toy Stories, so I don't mean any slight in that at all. But it definitely brings like a lot of like emotion and feels when it comes to this whole thing. So we get maybe the worst bad guy. He's worse than Stinky Pete, right? And any toy that's a bad guy is worse than Sid because Sid's a kid and he doesn't understand that they're alive. Like, you can't really hold it against Sid too much. But Lotso Hug Bear, he's bad. He's real bad. Ned Beatty is fantastic as this character. And, like, so good. And then the animation, of course, obviously, as well. That, like, there are a couple points in this movie where you're like, oh, he's good now. But then he's like, just joking, gotcha. Good luck not being dead, Woody. And I'm like, shoot. So much so that, like, when the end does come for him, you don't feel bad. You're like, good. Let him get splattered with bugs for eternity. Man, you gotta walk like... The thing with kids' movies is you really shouldn't deconstruct them too much because it's always going to end up being like super dark. So let's not go too deep in it and just say, what a bad dude. But again, bad because bad things happen to him. Not to justify it, but man, what a sad backstory. I think I'm going to go S tier because like that design also is so good. So now we actually have the Barbie that is Barbie, right? And I think I'm going to be happy with her being in A. They do the thing where she's a lot stronger than you would maybe imagine at first just because her name is Barbie. Ken is Michael Keaton, and so he's going to be an A tier for me too because he's Michael Keaton, and I love Michael Keaton. And on top of that, he's very funny. And then the character who is... bad at first, but then redeems himself and shows that, like, oh, maybe it was just the influence of the big bad guy the whole time that was making them be that way. That's good. And I think it's well done in this. It's easy to forgive in Toy Story. Like, they were ready to forgive lots of Hug Bear until he, like, was going to let him get burned alive. Big Baby is, like, a really sad character to me. Like, even, like... I don't know, man. Like, he knew Lots of Hug and Bear when he was good. He's loyal to him, but then he eventually like turns on him when he sees all the bad things that have been going on, and then he's been lied to by this person that he trusted for so long. Like, that's okay. So let's put him top of B tier, and just say that kind of storytelling would not happen in the first Toy Story. Now, that being said, we gotta remember where the first Toy Story was coming from. The first computer animated movie, even like traditionally animated movies at that time weren't bringing like those kind of, big themes and everything in them. The Toy Story series is like a big one where you can just really look at it and see just the progression of just storytelling in the entire medium of animated films over like, oh gosh, was like the 2 decades that it's been. Is it just 2? The 3 decades that they made Toy Story movies? My goodness. So with Lots of Hug and Bear and Big Baby, we're in that first group of new characters that we get in Toy Story 3. And you get like the ones at the preschool, and then you get Bonnie's toys as well. So kind of walking down, and most of the ones at the preschool are bad guys, at least kind of. You got Twitch, which is like a big old like hulked out bug guy. He's got a cool staff with him and everything. He obviously kind of looks like, I don't know, like a He-Man type of guy. He's cool. Let's go C tier. We got Stretch, which is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg, it feels like, kind of randomly. Just like an octopus, though. Go bottom of C tier. We got Chunk, which is a big rock guy. Feels like about the same as Stretch. Sparks the robot, though. Any robot that is like actually, or toy that is actually like shooting out sparks is cool. Now, should it be at a preschool? Probably not. Let's put that one in C tier also. Right there. Chatter Telephone is one of my favorite characters from Toy Story 3. Because like, I don't know, I just like he gets beat up, like that he's like telling what's really going on and everything, and how it's all like just glossy on top, but it's all a lie, and everything is gonna be real bad real quick for everybody. Plus the fact that like I distinctly remember playing with this kind of toy, this kind of toy phone when I was a little kid. Also just automatically makes me like it some. I think I'm gonna go up to the top of B tier for him. Richard Kind is super like recognizable hearing his voice, so it's cool that he shows up. But like as a bookworm, I don't know. He's got a fun design. Little fat little worm guy. But is the bookworm gonna be better than Pump Boy? That's like the big question. Better than Pump Boy? No. You can hang by the frog. Now maybe the scariest character in all of Toy Story is the monkey, like security guard guy. Like this guy is genuinely scary. And I think scary enough where I'm going to put him up into B tier. I'll put him at the bottom of B tier, but still. Scary enough to get there. The Jack in the Box has one line, voiced by like the director. I don't care. D tier. Chuckles the Clown is the other character that knew Lots of Hug a Bear when everything was going on earlier in his life. It's nice to see him happy at the end of it when he's with Bonnie and everything. I want to put him, because I think he's got a good look. A sad clown is good. I'm going to put him in B tier. Dump Truck is going to be right down there with Pickup Truck. It's not a character, right? Why does he have a Wikipedia article or a Disney or Pixarpedia or whatever? Why? You just ride around in him. At the bottom, in the middle of D tier, I'm going to put the garbage truck toys, the ones that are strapped to the front of it. You got like the cat, and you got like a fuzzy monster, and you got a frog. This is the fate of Lots of Hug a Bear. And again, not really characters. They're just a one-off joke, and it's pretty messed up again. What's happening to him? So now we're going to get to some more characters who actually have a chance to get up like a little higher into that tier list. Talking about Bonnie's toys, right? Where Andy's toys go and end up living eventually. We got Timothy Dalton. And similarly to Ken with Michael Keaton, I just love Timothy Dalton. And it's probably because it's the James Bond connection. but I love him. And so Timothy Dalton as Mr. Prickle Pants is going to get a go pretty high. I'm going to put him above Bullseye. Trixie, again, similarly, by Kristen Schaal. I love her. She's so funny. And I love this character. About the same. We're going to put right below Mr. Prickle Pants. Buttercup is fun because you got the gruff voice coming out of the fluffy unicorn. I'm going to go top of B tier for that one. Dolly, fun character, but just a doll named Dolly. Bonnie Hunt, though, go bottom of B tier. Peas in a Pod, again, it's kind of like a C tier, middle of the track. It's a fun idea for a toy. Doesn't really do much for me in the movie itself. Go bottom of C. And then to finish off Toy Story 3, we get Totoro, which I kind of forgotten was in there until I started putting this list together. It's just a nice little nod to the Studio Ghibli movies. I know you don't want to put him too low, but at the same time, he doesn't really do much. So let's put him C tier, and I'll put him above Utility Buzz. There we go. That feels fine. Which brings us to the last Toy Story movie. And these first couple, I did not realize who they were when I watched the movie for the first time, or even the second time, really until I started putting this list together. And that these are all like old, at this point, old comedic actors who get these nice little old parts playing the old toys that Bonnie doesn't play with anymore, that are just kind of shoved away in her closet. The first one being Betty White. And all of these characters are kind of have names that play off of their real names. So Betty White becomes Bitey White. She's like a little chew toy the baby would chew on. Funny name. Not a great character, right? Not much to her. Oh gosh. I think these ones I'm going to feel the worst putting them low, but I don't. These ones I think I'm going to feel the worst putting them low, but I don't really think I'm going to feel comfortable putting them too high either. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna go D tier, but let's go top of D tier. Mel Brooks plays Melephant Brooks. Obviously, these are toys that like her parents named. Just gonna put him right there with her. Carol Burnett becomes Cheryl Burnett. Again, just put it right there. And Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner's dad, becomes Carl Rhinoceros. And we'll just put him right there too. No digs on them. They play their little part. But I completely forget about them being in the movie when I'm not watching that part of the movie specifically. We're going to do a similar position for Mr. Oldtime, or Oldtimer. For Oldtimer, not Mr. For Oldtimer. At least he's got like a little bit more. I kind of remembered him at least. But we'll just, but he's not better than them. Like once you know that they have those funny names, they go a little bit higher for you. D tier. Forky for me is an A tier. He doesn't quite get up to S tier for me. Just a little too obnoxious. Now coming from me, I know that's really ripe, but just a little bit too over the top. I do like him. I don't know why I'm trying to like say like A is not good. A is great. You should be proud to be an A tier. Giggle Mcdimples is like Bo Peep's little sidekick character. I don't know, I don't really even care for her really at all. I'm going to put her in D tier. I'm sorry, that feels really rough, but like, this is kind of where I am with it. Bunny and Ducky, for me, are going to be another S tier characters. I love Key and Peele, and I think they're hilarious, and yeah, and the fact that they're in this, and they get to do what they do, and that their shtick is that they like come up with these plans that are crazy and violent towards human beings and everything. All good. They're going to be an S tier. I'm not going to quite get them up above. I think I like Bunny just a little bit more than Ducky. We'll just say because my favorite color is blue instead of yellow. That'll be our tiebreaker there, but they're great. Love them. Duke Kaboom, another great character. Keanu Reeves, A tier for me. Obviously, where on the A tier though? Right there. Right above Bullseye. He gets some really funny lines too. As sad as Toy Story 4 is, it might be the one that makes me laugh the most also. Like Pixar really has gotten their storytelling stuff down at this point. They're just so good. And they make it look so easy. Combat Carl, voiced by Carl Weathers. Great redesign. Gonna put him in B tier, but not super high B tier. He's gonna go right there below Tour Guide Barbie. Sorry, I want to clarify. Gonna mention Tinny, who is like a callback to like an old Pixar short. This little tin soldier guy, but I mean, he's whatever. Be down by the Rock'em Sock'em robots. Gabby Gabby. I don't know. I'm conflicted on Gabby Gabby. Like, I mean, I don't hate her as a character and everything. I don't know if she does enough for me to feel like she's redeemed, right? It feels about the same whereas if at the end of Toy Story 3, Lotso, Hug and Bear actually did help them out, right? It'd be like, oh, cool, you helped them. And I guess we're just going to forgive all the things that they've done. But she does get that nice thing. I do tear up still when she helps the lost girl. But the weakest like antagonist, I'm gonna put her, B tier for Gabby Gabby. We can go right there behind Buttercup. The Bensons, which I do want the Bensons, which I do want to mention, I thought was kind of cool, are voiced by the creator of Sam and Max, like the comic series and like the show and everything, Steve Purcell. They look a lot like Slappy from Goosebumps and everything. So I like them. I think I like them about here though. Like they about as much as I can like a character who has like no character. So, and then lastly, Karen Beverly, a throwaway gag at the end of the movie. Very tippity top of D tier for me. That's it. We did it. That's the end of Toy Story. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you click away, unless you did already. Appreciate you sticking through it. Let me know. Do you like it when we try to go a little bit faster like this? Do you want me to take my time and breathe through these tier lists? I'm happy to hear what you think. But there we did it. 90. I'm sure this is maybe the longest video we've ever put out. Maybe we beat Batman. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.